Let's get into the Friday mailbag. Info at davidpakman.com must be spelled correctly. Not the info. Well, actually, it all has to be spelled correctly, but the info part is the easy part. It's my last name that often trips people up. You can send questions, comments, criticisms, praise. Try to keep the trolling to a minimum, even though there's always a little bit, and maybe that's where we will start today. First message is your, Y-O-U-R, an F-wit Pakman, and they say the full thing with the F. You must support the loony left pedos, and pedos also with an apostrophe. It's all weird, and it does contain the required you are confusion almost exclusively, almost unanimously in the hate mail that I receive. And also not a particularly substantive criticism. And this entire thing with left-wing pedophilia, not only is it like a strange obsession for many on the right, it really actually seems like it's the right that has a problem with this issue. But let's not make it political. Let's just leave it at that. Another message, not pleased with my commentary. I watched your insulting Herschel Walker video, and I gotta say, as someone who had worked with the developmentally disabled and mentally ill, you should be ashamed. I reported your garbage commentary to Facebook. You do realize people with brain injuries can work? Also, wondering if Walker was a Democrat, would you have still said everything you did? Yes. Guys, first of all, this person seems to be saying Herschel Walker is developmentally disabled or mentally ill or has a brain injury, which the right denies. And now this person is saying, not only is it true, you're bad for bringing it up, David. I was not making fun of anything. I was not saying anything other than this guy cannot speak. He cannot form a coherent sentence. He should obviously not be a valid candidate to be one of 100 senators in the United States, whatever issues he's dealing with. If it's mental illness, he should get treatment. If it's a brain injury, he should get treatment. If it's a developmental disability, full dignity and respect to all of it. And his inability to express himself about even one issue that is important to him should make it so that no voter would say this is the guy that needs to be a senator. That's the point. And that's as far as it goes. Next email is from Sarah. Now, I'm going to have to keep doing this in order for people to understand what's going on. Sarah wrote to me and said, possible scam in your name. David, I subscribe to the David Pakman Show on YouTube. Recently, David included a photo of himself with his child, to which I commented, congratulations. Upon seeing notifications later, I noticed there was a response supposedly by David, but which immediately raised my hackles as a scam. I've copied the text to include with this email. And it's someone that looks like me telling Sarah to DM them on WhatsApp. I want to make, we are playing whack-a-mole with these spammers. Okay. I am not trying to contact any of you by WhatsApp or text message. I love all the fans, all the viewers, the audience, love all of you. I'm not trying to text you. I'm not trying to WhatsApp you. I am too busy. And there are dozens of accounts using my face. If you can imagine a face like this, it's being used to scam people into like eventually it will be about they'll invest your money for you or they need, whatever. It's some financial scam. So if you see any account that claims to be me trying to get you to contact them or saying I want to text you or whatever, report it for impersonation. It is not me. I can talk to you if you call in. Okay? When we take live calls. I am not trying to text anybody. Love everybody with peace and love. I'm not trying to WhatsApp you. I'm not trying to text you. All right, Sarah? Matthias wrote in about monkeypox. And one of the things I really don't like is when people criticize me for things I didn't say. I say plenty on the show worthy of criticism. Criticize me for that, not for things I didn't say. Matthias says, sir, yesterday you mentioned it was homophobic to bring up the fact that the vast majority of monkeypox cases are men who have sex with men. Isn't it a disservice to be dishonest with the gay community? I did not say that it is homophobic to bring up the fact that the majority of cases early on were men who have sex with men. What I said was that it was homophobic not to care about monkeypox because you believe it is only affecting gay men, which is what Marjorie Taylor Greene was saying. Am I this poor a communicator that people thought I was being homophobic or sorry, that I was saying it was homophobic merely to point out a statistic? No, that is not what I said. What I said was there are people on the right laughing this off like they laughed off AIDS for a while by saying, I don't care about this. It's only affecting gay men. And it is not only affecting gay men. I just actually got a message from a woman who has monkeypox, and I guess now she's over it, actually. She caught it 2 months ago. Come on, guys. Come on. Criticize me for the things that I'm saying. CMA wrote to me about Live Golf and says, I have little confidence you'll pay attention to this, but I'm giving it a shot. I saw your comments about the Live Golf tournament. Please, it is not Live Golf. It's 54 Golf. I expected much more of you, a cultured celebrity. Live is a Roman number, 54, L-I-V. Placing it in the name of the tournament refers to the number of hits a player would need to make if all the holes were par or something like that. Please, 54 Golf, not Live Golf. I have not heard a single news report, sports channel, golfer, or athlete call it 54 Golf. Okay? Everyone's calling it Live Golf. I get it. I understand Roman numerals, but I've not heard it called 54 Golf even once. So it seems it would be weird if all of a sudden I start calling it 54 Golf. I don't think anyone would have any idea what I'm talking about. All right, CMA? So I want to be understood. That's the priority. Chris wrote in about electric cars, a topic near and dear to my heart. Chris says, David, thank you for addressing the issue of right-wing disgust against electric cars and similarly any type of green tech. I've been driving an electric car for almost 5 years. I've experienced everything that you have, and I agree with everything that you said in this segment. If there was ever a litmus test of right-wing intelligence or lack thereof, the reaction to electric cars is it. Yeah, they really don't understand anything. Another one that I'm hearing is that they're saying, you know, electric cars, you need metal, you need tires, right, but you need those things with internal combustion engines as well. But at least you're not burning fossil fuels when you drive around. I get it. There's still a carbon footprint to an electric car. Nobody's denying that. But they seem increasingly desperate, ignorant, and unhinged in the criticism of electric vehicles. And by the way, no one's forcing you to go and get an electric vehicle. If you're happy with paying for gas and, you know, the noise of internal combustion engines and all the moving parts that can break, and stick with it. Nobody's forcing you to get an electric vehicle. It's just as the technology matures and the charging network expands and the vehicles improve and get cheaper and cheaper, those internal combustion engines are looking pretty antiquated. I think that's the main point. Jason wrote in about fuel prices and has another interesting take on the electric vehicle discussion. Jason says, I don't own an electric vehicle currently and don't benefit from high prices. So high prices are a net negative for me financially. However, based on the need to reduce our dependence on fossil fuels, I'm actually to the point where I don't want fuel prices to come down. While I don't want to see the oil corporations benefit, I also think big picture we need to reduce demand and usage in some way. Tactically, I don't know what it looks like. Do you think there's any chance the masses will understand how the need to prioritize the existence of our species or planet has to come before any economic interest? Yeah, I've mentioned this before in a different context, which is super high gas prices aren't necessarily the best for oil companies and gas stations long term because they reduce demand. And this is sort of what the point Jason is making. If gas prices are cartoonishly high, it makes electric vehicles comparatively less expensive because it increases the cost of ownership of a gas-powered vehicle. And Jason is absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Brian wrote in about 3D printed guns. You might remember that a homemade gun was used in the assassination of the former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. And Brian says, if we can digitally keep photocopiers from duplicating currency, why couldn't we use the same concept to keep 3D printers from producing gun parts? Make it recognize a part in any plane and have updates. Just think and keep up the great work. Yeah, this is an important thing. We have seen a lot of people on the right, when presented with the obvious need for gun safety regulations, they go, hey, listen, even if you get rid of guns, the guy in Japan printed his gun at home or made his gun at home. So getting rid of guns won't solve anything. Well, it would, in the sense that most people aren't going to be able to make a gun at home. And the ones that are able to do it aren't necessarily going to do it because it's more work and people are fundamentally lazy. So obviously, will some people figure out a way to print guns at home if you ban the ability to buy a certain gun on the open market? Yeah, but most of them are not. And then you get to the next question, which is, just because you could print a gun at home, even though most people won't, you can also regulate 3D printers in some way. And I know that you could make the case, well, you can slice and dice the parts thinner and thinner to where they wouldn't be recognized as gun parts. Okay, I get it. But the point is, you also can make it more difficult to print a 3D gun at home for those that have a 3D printer. It's weird how they act like we have no agency or ability to control technology whatsoever. Everybody will just print guns at home. Oh, will they? Well, most people don't have printers. And even if they did, you can also limit some of the parts that can be printed. They just throw in the towel like we have no more power. The email is absolutely correct. Send me your thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, demands for an apology, hopefully a legitimate demand, to info@davidpakman.com. And the party doesn't have to stop now. We do have the bonus show every single weekday.
Oh, the bonus show where you want to make money. Everybody else that makes money to fund themselves
You
is bad.
can sign up at joinpakman.com. You can use the coupon code BIGVOTING22. Get the bonus show, folks. If Alex Jones doesn't like it, it should at least pique your interest a little bit. See you then.